All right, life insurance and mutual funds will benefit from a move to financial savings and equities. That's the view coming in from the Chief Executive Officer at the Aditya Birla Group, Mr. Ajay Srinivasan. Our colleague Swati Khandelwal Jain caught up with him to discuss the road ahead for markets. Listen in to what he had to say.
Very good question. I think one big theme we are seeing actually playing out is a move from physical assets to financial assets. And within financial assets, obviously, there's a move to equity as an asset class. We're seeing that actually as a fairly substantial move. And if that move gathers momentum, then we're really looking at much more savings coming into the equity market. And those numbers can be pretty massive. So if you look at where we're positioned today, whether it is life insurance or mutual funds, these are all really businesses that benefit from a move to financial savings and a move to equity. So I think we're very well positioned for what I think is a fairly big theme that's playing out in India at this point in time.
Any specific sectors that you are particularly bullish on? We've seen the IT and the pharma theme, sort of now not there, and it's done what it had to. Pretty defensive now. The other themes that are playing out in the market, where do you think the opportunity will lie going forward from here on?
So, I mean, if you're talking about investing in the market, I think you still have to be very selective, because I think broad brush descriptions of sectors and industries, my sense is even within every one of those, you're going to find some people who are good and some people who are not attractive. Yeah. And therefore, I think it really is a bottom up, especially when you're talking at this level of the market. I think you just have to be very selective in terms of where you invest.
Any specific criteria that one should keep in mind while we are looking at markets at all-time high and the way the levels have been now? Things are looking up. While everybody talked about sort of a correction coming in, we did see a bit of a dip, but again, we are close to that 10,000 mark for Nifty. In such a scenario, how do you advise people or investors to sort of go along? What are the themes that they should be playing by to get the maximum returns?
I think you're again absolutely right. I think liquidity is so strong in the economy. It does tend to distort prices of different assets, including equity. I think you have to be really clear about what you're buying. And my sense is when you're looking at equity markets, for instance, you should be looking at quality of management, quality of business, generation of cash flow, sustainability of business. These, I think, are much more important things to look at rather than the flavor of the day or the flavor of the month, especially if you're a medium to long-term investor. If you're looking at trading opportunities, that's completely a different game.
So this is wealth creation and
yes,
value.
If you're looking longer term, I really think you need to look at the fundamentals and really back good businesses, sustainable businesses, because I think those will be the ones that will continue to grow.
So, and technology now is playing a big role. I mean, disruption is just changing the way things are. We are seeing, zero inventory kind of or a manufacturing setup not getting as much value as something like a Facebook or a WhatsApp, So the valuation game in that sense is changing. So in that context, again, to understand from you, where is it that you should park your money?
So I think you have to look at models, even when you're looking at some of the businesses that you're describing. I think you have to look at models where it's apparent what the revenue model and the profit model will be. I think that becomes very important, because again, we've all been through the .com of 2000, where we looked at very different metrics and got very excited about that. Many of those businesses didn't survive too long. I think you have to be clear what the revenue model and the profit model will be, and really look slightly longer term. I think with markets at these levels, you want to back businesses that have scalability, that have good management, good quality people behind them.
Sure. Financial services and that space is very important with the fact that you're mentioning on the opportunities that it throws for people to get into this space, and also with the banking industry going through its own set of or going through the churn one is seeing. For the financial institutions and the financial services business, what is the best bet? And especially in the times when you're talking of consolidation in a big way in the PSU banking space, how do you read into the banking scenario?
You're talking specifically about banking as such? Again, I think there's a vast variety of banks that operate in the country. I think you have to really pick businesses that are well positioned, which have good teams, good management, good business model. I don't think I could give you broad brush views of PSUs not good and private sector is good, because even in both segments, I think you'll find things that are attractive and not so attractive.
All right, that's all the time that we have on this edition of Trending Today. Thank you so much for watching.